Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 5, Episode 44. If you count all of them, that's 238 episodes, and that was a lot of breath for me right now. I'm Craig.
And my name is Britt. And Craig, we are back despite the fact that you're still recovering.
Yep.
He's here tonight. So don't be shocked if you don't hear a ton from him tonight because he's probably just trying to breathe.
Just trying to not cough a lot into the mic, so I'll try to use the mute button more. But here we are.
Tell our listeners how you are feeling.
So I have a full-blown sinus infection now.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Now I'm on antibiotics and a steroid inhaler. So fun time for everyone.
Oh
boy. And
right,
the doctor was like, all right, so you're going to take the antibiotics. And she was like, you're probably not going to feel any different for at least 3 full days of you taking it. And I'm on day 1.5, technically.
All right, so you need another day or two.
At least. It's 10 days. 10 days. So.
Oy vey.
But here we are.
We're glad you're still with us. And we're just going to jump right in tonight. Not that we have a ton to cover, but the faster we jump into stuff, the quicker this poor man can get to bed. So... Craig, let's start with the non-alcoholic beverage I'm sure you're drinking tonight because you're on antibiotics.
Yes, I am on a clear liquid I am drinking a clear liquid called water. Yay.
I used to curl with a guy, and I'm not going to call him out by name, but he wasn't a big drinker. But he thought he was the most clever man in the room whenever he made a joke. He was one of those guys that made bad jokes and would be like, huh? Like, I seriously thought sometimes he was going to go waka waka. And he would sometimes, after a curling match, it's traditional for a winner to buy the loser the first round of beverages.
Okay.
It's an accepted custom in curling. It's actually considered very poor manners if you don't. Okay. And so one night I was playing against him, and my team beat his. And you always buy for the person who plays opposite you. So if you play the lead position, you buy for the other lead. If you play the skip position, you buy for the other skip. And so he was playing across from me. And so I walked up to him and I said, "What can I get you to drink?" And he looked at me and said, "I'll have a glass of Adam's Ale." And I went, "What in the holy hell is Adam's Ale? I've never heard of this brand of beer." So I went to the bar thinking maybe there's a new beer in our club bar. I said to the bartender, "Do we have Adam's Ale?" And he looked at me like I was insane. He said, "Not only do we not have it, I've never heard of it." And I went, "Okay." So I went back to the table and I said, "Dude, they don't have Adam's Ale." He goes, "Oh, we have plenty of Adam's Ale. Just go up there and tell them you want Adam's Ale." All right. I went back to the bar. I had the same conversation. I came back and I went, "Can you tell me what the hell I'm supposed to be buying here? Because you keep sending me for Adam's Ale. I have no idea." He was like, finally he laughs at me and goes, "Water. Adam's Ale. Get it? Adam, the first guy from the Garden of Eden, all he had to drink was water."
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay. So I come back with a bottle of water. And he's like, "You didn't get the joke?" And I'm like, No,
that could be a legit name of a beer.
Yeah, he got up, walked to another table full of curlers, and said to the guy, "What are you drinking?" The guy was like, "Oh, I have a glass of wine. What are you drinking?" He goes, "I have Adam's Ale. Get it?" And the table stared at him like he was nuts. And I'm sitting at the table going, he's going to wander around this entire club until somebody laughs at his stupid-ass joke.
Yes. Did he?
No. Well, did he wander? Yes. Did anyone laugh? No. So Craig is drinking Adam's Ale. I am drinking Diet Cola, and I will tell you why.
Why?
Because Friday night we played Rift Tracks online, and I consumed a lot of beer.
So that would be more than 3.
I believe the official count was 7.
Wow.
And 7 beers, okay, that's a solid night of drinking. That all happened in 4 hours, and somewhere in between I squeezed in 2 shots. So...
You know what? I was there playing with you. You did okay.
I made a decent amount of sense. I must have been really well hydrated. So I'm taking a couple of days off, and the timing is perfect because this weekend I'm co-streaming a Hearthstone tournament on Twitch, so there'll be no drinking this weekend. So it's a good time for a break. So I have just regular old diet soda tonight. So Craig is drinking Adam's Ale. I'm drinking diet soda because I don't have a clever name for it, or supposedly clever name for it. Let's move on to burning hot takes.
All right.
Craig, give or receive tonight?
I will receive.
Okay. On NFL Total Access, Kyle Van Noy was on to talk about the offense of the Steelers after Big Ben. And he said, quote, I'm excited to see Mitchell Trubisky. What he learned from Brian Dabble. Dabble? I don't even know the offensive coordinator, I'm guessing, or the quarterback's coach in Buffalo. I'm excited to see what he learned from Brian and Josh Allen. Elite quarterback play, elite play calling. I want to see that in action for the Steelers. Let me read that last sentence again. He's talking about Mitch Trubisky. Elite QB play, elite play calling. I want to see that in action for the Steelers. Craig, are you as excited for Mitch Trubisky going to Pittsburgh as Kyle Van Noy is?
Being a Bengal fan, yes. I am excited to see that. I don't know. Was it just the Bears a bad fit for him? Is he really not that bad of a quarterback? I don't know. We'll find out in Pittsburgh because he's clearly going to get a chance to play. He wasn't gonna play in Buffalo unless Josh Allen got hurt. So,
I mean, obviously he's saying the coach and Josh Allen, the coach whose name I can't pronounce because I honestly didn't know who he was. So I'm guessing he's the offensive coordinator, the QB coach. I'm not really up to date on my coaches. I'll be honest with that. Apparently, what he's saying is this elite unit in Buffalo is going to rub off, and he's going to take it there. I'm not really so sure that's the case. I'm excited for Mitch Trubisky getting there, but they've already drafted the future. I don't see how Mitch is anything but a placeholder, and I'm going to predict that unless they get off to like an epic start, which no one's predicting for Pittsburgh as far as I can tell, unless they get off to an epic start, he's probably sitting at least he's not surviving like through week 12, in my opinion. Like they're going to want to see Pickett in action. I think Pickett's going to see action this year.
So you think they bench Trubisky, or you think it's going to be one Sunday and I'm like, you're going to sit down this week?
I think at some point they sit there and say this season. So we've talked about this a million times. We've never been high on the Steelers to begin with, but
right.
In a normal situation, we have not been high on the Steelers to begin with. Now, and when they seem to be going into a rebuilding year, I'm even less high on the Steelers. I think this team probably goes 4-8 in its first 12 games. And I think they look around the room and go, there is no harm in getting Pickett experience these last 5 weeks, or maybe 4 weeks or 3 weeks, however they want to decide to do it. There's no harm in getting him some experience because we need to know that he's the QB of the future. That's what I think is going to happen.
More than likely, because they already said they're going to reduce Harris's ball count, play count. So I don't know what the Steelers' offense is going to look like now, especially if they're down. They're going to have different receivers as well, especially with Juju being gone. Who may, he said he might wind up back in Pittsburgh one day, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, what do you got for me?
So let me see. Where'd it go? Hold on one second here. There it goes. Sorry. Okay, so the Panthers, they're in a bit of a flux, I would say, for a team. The Panthers coach, Matt Rule, and I just want to get your thoughts on this quote. Sam Darnold would be our quarterback if we played today. Do the Panthers actually have any? Do you think the Panthers have any kind of plan for quarterback at this point? Because they seem very confused on who their quarterback is going to be when the season starts compared to like week 8.
Yeah, no, they have no idea, and this is why the Panthers have struggled. They're focusing their efforts in the wrong area. They need to be focusing on keeping Christian McCaffrey healthy. Well, with good quarterback play, that'll happen. That's true, but you're not going to get good quarterback play this year. You're either putting out a rookie or you're putting out Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold, for all the success I wish the guy has had in the world, and I've been a Sam Darnold backer. We picked him up in the Dynasty League. when he was a Jet, we were excited when he got sent to Carolina because we had shares of him, and we thought that was going to be a turnaround. I was wrong about that. So I think Carolina has to find a way to utilize McCaffrey without breaking him and without wearing him down, because if you leave Christian McCaffrey to his own devices, he's going to want to touch the ball 30 times a game. And we know that he doesn't have the durability for that to be an option. It's just, no. I think what they should do is they should use this as a building year. They need to protect McCaffrey, build. Even if Darnold is the starter, he is not starting at the end of the year. Same situation as Pittsburgh, in my opinion. We're going to see a lot of rookies playing by the end of the year. Your thoughts?
I think so. I think they also they got stuck in a Baker Mayfield limbo trade too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when that fell through, they were just like, we don't know what to do now. So really quick though, who has a better record next season, the Steelers or the Panthers?
Ooh. Without looking at their actual schedules?
Yeah. I mean, we could, but yeah.
The entire NFC South feels like it's rebuilding.
It has Tampa's the only Bay, and that's it.
Is Tampa like the only team that hasn't changed quarterbacks in the last 2 years?
I'd have to look that up.
Like, since Tom Brady is clearly, in terms of longevity with the team, and this is scary to think about, seeing this would be his third season there, but Tom Brady is the dean of the NFC South quarterbacks, because Jameis Winston just got there to New Orleans, Matt Ryan just left Atlanta, and Carolina doesn't know what the hell it's doing, and even if it does start Darnold, he's only been there as long as Brady has been in Tampa.
Yes.
Less time, actually, because this is Brady's third season in Tampa, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Or fourth.
Yes.
Third or fourth?
Yeah, no,
third.
Third, because he won his first year there. Last year, the Rams won. This will be his third season there. So, yeah, I think Carolina probably has a better record because they'll be playing an easier schedule, and they're in a division that's, comparatively, the AFC North, the Bengals and the Ravens by themselves are better than every team in the NFC South.
I think so.
That's 4 games that the Steelers are likely going to lose, or lose 3 out of those 4 games unless they figure something out. I'm not confident saying about anybody in the NFC South against Carolina. I think that entire division's in any given Sunday. Like, I don't know how Tampa doesn't win that division.
So is the NFC South the new NFC East?
No, because the NFC East is still the NFC East.
Oh, that's true.
That they haven't gotten any better. The Cowboys are still 3 injuries away from either last place or the Super Bowl every year. The Giants have not made significant strides. Yeah, this is their year. The Washington Commanders are being investigated by Congress. And the Philadelphia Eagles are still standing there going, remember Dick Vermeil?
He was good. We changed our logo.
Before Andy Reid was a champion over there, he was here.
Hello?
He was a nice man. Hello? So, and along those lines, you brought up Baker Mayfield, which brings me to my second question. The latest Baker Mayfield rumors, because you talked about the rumors of him going to Carolina.
Yeah.
The latest one, and it's heating up today, is that the Seahawks are still highly interested in Baker Mayfield, which led the FanDuel people to post a Twitter, and it's a fill in the blank. So the question is, fill in this blank. Baker Mayfield makes the Seahawks a top blank team in the NFL.
Top blank?
Top blank team in the NFL. Should I play the match game music while you think about this?
I mean,
I don't think
we could. I don't know if I can play that though. I can see if I can.
I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, but I could try to hum it, but I don't think that's a good idea either.
Here's
Baker Mayfield makes the Seahawks a top blank team in the NFL.
I don't think he gets them any further than Russell Wilson would have with the team that they have. They don't have a running back.
They have several.
They have several running backs, and none of them are healthy. I think
that's the problem.
They have I don't even know. Like, let me hold on. I think their defense changed. I just feel like the Seahawks are in like this weird.
They're rebuilding.
They're like in the beginning phases of rebuilding, and it's this weird gray area where like, well, they'll still win, but they had Russell, and he'll get you like 3 or 4 wins like on his own, but
Yeah.
you need more people around you to win consistently, and I don't think the Seahawks have that right now. The Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl and lost on a very stupid play. Sorry, Cinch. They should have never called that play. But that Seahawks team doesn't exist anymore. So.
Oh, God, no. Not even close. Not even close to what was once there. But and the Twitter people have not been kind. The average response is Baker Mayfield makes the Seahawks a top 30 team in the NFL.
Yes, he does.
So I'd love to know what 2 teams they're putting behind him. But
the Panthers,
the Panthers and the Falcons. I think Baker makes them better, but how much better? I would love to see it just because I feel like Baker Mayfield's gotten a raw deal in Cleveland. I feel like so I would love to see the Baker Mayfield redemption tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care where it happens, but Seattle feels like a damn good place for it to happen. If he got there, he probably makes them a 500 team.
Yeah. Will they win playoff games? I don't know. But again, not with the team that they have.
They won't make a playoff game, so it's irrelevant. And the NFC West is too. They're not getting by San Francisco and Arizona, and by the way, the defending Super Bowl champion, the LA Rams.
Yeah, no. Right now, the Seahawks are the worst team in that division.
No, without question. Without question. So it's not like they're sitting there going, Baker's the final piece and we're going to shock the world. That's not going to happen.
No.
Baker is what you need to stabilize while you transition to your next franchise quarterback. He is the Elvis Gerback of this generation. Elvis Gerback went to Kansas City, was like, I'm bringing a title here. No, you're not. You know what you're bringing here? A U-Haul full of your stuff. That's what you're bringing to Kansas City. That's all you're bringing to Kansas City.
Last year's records in the NFC East. The Rams were 12-5. The Cardinals were 11-6. They were? Really? Wow. The 49ers were 10-7, and the Seahawks were 7-10.
And the 49ers dealt with injury all year.
They did, like George Kittle.
Yes, and the whole will Jimmy Garoppolo be the starter drama? That has an effect. That has an effect. Their passing game last year, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are household names now, and they were not a year ago. They were to fantasy people, but to the average football fan, they weren't necessarily household names, and now they are. So, yeah, and we'll see what happens. I just hope Baker lands somewhere. So, all right, moving on to our main topic for the evening. Why is Triple H trending on? Why is Ric Flair and Triple H trending on Twitter?
Oh no! Did they show up on Raw or something?
Next viewership has dropped 25% in the last 3 years, and they're saying it's because Triple H is out at NXT.
I think that's really more that AEW exists, and everyone forgot about Next.
I think that's probably true.
It's a wrestling podcast now.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently, there's a day in history thing. On this date in 1995, Hulk Hogan and a handful of other wrestling superstars, including Ric Flair, squared off in a ring just outside of Camp Snoopy. I don't know what that means, for the first ever episode of WCW Nitro.
Oh, is that when they went there with a tank? Was that skit?
I have no clue. I have no clue. But whenever I see people when I see Ric Flair is trending on Twitter, my first thought is, please don't be dead.
Yeah, seriously.
So, all right, anyway. All right, so our main topic tonight is best ball. I took the opportunity this weekend to do a couple best ball drafts. I know Craig came into a couple of them, and this is really the best time of the year to get into best ball because the league information is starting to heat up. People are starting to get excited for the return of fantasy football. People are starting to fill the lobbies. Best ball starts getting some gas right around now. So it's a great time for us to talk about it as we prepare for our rankings, which start in about 2 weeks. So, Craig, just in general, how many best balls have you done, would you say, in the last week or two? I've done like 5.
Yeah, I think I've done 4 or 5.
Okay, so
Probably like
and
4.
again, we like most of those were on Sunday. I just sat around and did best balls all day on Sunday. So, what is your first impression? What stands out to you? If I ask you to tell me one thing about best ball drafts so far this season in terms of players or participation, anything you want, what's the one thing that's jumped out to you so far?
So far, I think people are staying with. It seems to me, at least the ones that I've done, people are looking at the rankings the app is giving you and just doing whoever the app tells you to pick. And these people weren't on auto draft. It's like whoever
Yeah,
the app is telling you to pick, they pick.
there's a lot of chalk picks.
Yeah.
A lot of chalk picks. I'll tell you what mine is that wide receivers are super frelling cheap. Like
Yeah.
I was shocked at people are shying away from wideouts and best ball, and they're taking like a ton of them late because this is where they see the high ceiling, low floor guys, and they would rather take the higher floor guys in more reliable positions like running back and quarterback. And it seems like people are taking wide receiver and tight end. People are just taking flyers. Tight end. I mean, even tight ends. I've seen Kelsey go off the board really fast. I've seen Andrews go off the board really fast, and I don't see a tight end go for 4 rounds in best ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like everyone is kind of shying away from the wide receiver and tight end positions in order to generate some more depth at quarterback and running back early. One of the things that has shocked me, Jonathan Taylor has been the number one in every draft I've done. Taylor has gone first. What is interesting, and my second question to you, is that the second spot I've seen go between 3 guys mainly, and they are Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, and Austin Eckler. I only ever seen Eckler go in second once, and I've seen him go as low as like 8 or 9, so we'll just kind of keep him as an option in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But Taylor being the consensus 1, and there being some debate over 2, who would you like in the 2 spot between McCaffrey, Kupp, and Eckler?
If I had a pick, I would probably go with Cup.
Oh, you're a Cooper Kupp guy, though.
I am, but you know what? I was also a Christian McCaffrey guy. I had him for a while, but you look at the Panthers' offense and you look at his injury history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would. I don't think I would take him at 2.
And that's the thing. I mean, right now his best ball ADP according to Fantasy Pros is 3rd.
Even that, I don't know if I would even take him in general, but not that high anyway.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just looking at his team and looking as he's a great athlete, but he got injured and he has not been the same since, and his offense is a mess. So.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I was actually shocked to see McCaffrey going in the top 3 or 4 spots because it's just so unreliable. And don't forget, in best ball, it's not like you can go out on the waiver wire or you can make a trade. Best ball is one and done. That's it. Once you've drafted, you're locked in there. So who's fallen for you? Who have you looked at and said, my God, I can't believe he's going that low?
Let me see. Let me just open
this.
Because
while you're looking that up, I'll tell you the answer. My answer is going to be really simple, and it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm seeing Clyde Edwards-Helaire go super late, and I think it might be, to your point, the whole thing with people are just following rankings. I'm looking right now. His ADP on Fantasy Pros is 69, and I tell you, I have not seen him go in the top 70 picks in any of the ones we've done.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was actually sitting across from Sean on Sunday in one of the ones that we were all in together, and he was like, I need a running back. Do I want? And he was like, I'm like, well, who's available right now? And he threw out a couple names. Well, Miles Sanders was one, and Tony Pollard. He goes, well, Sanders is there and Pollard is there. And I looked at the rankings myself and I said, Helaire is there. And he just kind of went, I don't know. I said, you're going to take the backup in Dallas or a guy who is hurt literally every 30 seconds in Philadelphia over the guy who's leading the backfield on a Super Bowl contender, or at least a team that was a Super Bowl contender. I don't know where the Chiefs are now without Hill. That's always a big question. He does get injured, but this is the conversation we're having. a backup or Miles Sanders over Hilaire, and the guy, he went like immediately thereafter.
Oh, he
But
did.
yeah. But I was just like, I was shocked. I'm like, why is Hilaire going? I mean, that's like fifth, sixth round ADP. That puts him at running back 26. I was shocked. So who shocked you? Who shocked you that you could be like, I thought that guy would go earlier?
Go earlier. You know what? Let me see. Let me go up another round. I'm looking at one of the drafts we did.
Yeah.
I really thought that probably Aaron Jones or Patrick Mahomes would go sooner than they did.
I have seen Aaron Jones sliding down draft boards. Is that an AJ Dillon feeling? Are people? I mean, are people just cold on the? I got AJ Dillon at 62. I got
like in one of the ones we did, Aaron Jones went 19th.
Yeah, I've got him at 22nd in ADP. I've got him at running back 12. I've got him between Leonard Fournette and Nick Chubb, according to Fantasy Pros, and that does feel really low. But how much of that is? I really think people think that the Packers' offense is going to struggle this year.
Yeah, especially without Adams.
Is that where all this is coming from? Because we're talking about two teams. When I talk about the Chiefs, we talk about the Packers. We're talking about two teams who lost star top 5 wide receivers. And Davante Adams is now down to wide receiver number 5. He was a top 2 or top 3 last year. I'm looking for Hill now. Tyreek Hill's wide receiver 8 in best ball. These are two guys that basically fallen out of the top 3. And have they taken the entire teams with them? Is Hill wide receiver 8 in best ball right now because he's not a Chief anymore?
Honestly, because of where he is, I don't know if he's in the top 10.
Well, and I said that last week, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I threatened, and since she's going to hold me to it, I threatened to retire from podcasting if he's a top 10 wide receiver. I think I said top 5 wide receiver this year. But is this? Does the Tyreek Hill move not only affect Hill, but affect the entire Chiefs offense in terms of how people are viewing in best ball? And same thing with the Packers and Davante Adams?
I think so, just because they were such giant playmakers for their teams.
Yeah.
And I think people, people are wondering what the offense is going to look like. Mm-hmm. And these teams existed before these guys played for them, but still, you never really know what's going to happen when you have a major change like that.
By the way, a piece of news that came through today, and I just noticed just now, is that the Carolina Panthers are saying they're going to be using a new practice regimen with Christian McCaffrey to try and help him be more durable during the season. That he'll be taking a lot of reps off during the week. So
they're going to beat him with reeds.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be riding the bike 2 days a week, Christian. You study the playbook and get on the stationary bike, I guess. But I mean, I think so. I think people are down on the Packers and Chief offense, and it's having an effect across the board. That's why we're seeing Mahomes go a little bit later. Where is Mahomes on here? Hold on, I'll pull it up. But Mahomes is QB2, but that puts him at 35 overall. According to the Fantasy Pros best ball hashtag sponsor us, best ball rankings, the number 1 QB is Josh Allen. He shouldn't go till 25. I can tell you, in the drafts I've been in, I've seen quarterbacks going inside the top 20. Not a ton of them. It's not like a rush, but I've seen Allen and Mahomes go in the first 2 rounds in best ball drafts, and they're not in the top 2 rounds. I mean, they're both behind Saquon Barkley. If I'm in round 2, it doesn't make a difference what I did in round 1. If my choices are Saquon Barkley or Josh Allen, I'm taking Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, totally.
not according to this ADP or not. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that, honestly. I really am. So, yeah, I think you may have stumbled onto something there. I think that might be part of it. What else have you noticed in terms of interactions in best ball? What else has stuck out to you, or what else do you find interesting?
So people are, to me anyway, they're ignoring quarterback a lot longer than I do. Because this is best ball, so I'm I'm gonna draft 3 or 4 quarterbacks because
Mm-hmm.
if you have 2 of them, right? So then you only get stuck between 2. One of them easily could get hurt. Now you're stuck with one, and you can't pick anyone up.
And what happens if they both get hurt?
And if you both get hit, you're screwed. So you
Yeah, you
honestly,
can.
for best, you need at least 3. In all
Yeah,
honesty,
in a standard lineup, I carry a minimum of 3, and sometimes I carry 4. And the DraftKings allows you to have 2 backups per starter per position. So you can carry 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, and like 9 or no, they do 2 wide receivers too. 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, and still have 1 spot open. I think they do 19 or 20 spots. So you can get that 4th quarterback. I typically have just gone for 3 deep at every position and then just try to get something, whatever best available, or take a flyer at the
right?
end there. But yeah, I think you're right. I think part of that is because people wait because, again, it comes down to that depth issue. If you're not getting Allen or Mahomes, and Mahomes is a huge question mark right now. So if you're not getting Josh Allen, Mahomes himself is the question mark, but the talent around him is. If you're not getting Josh Allen, you might as well wait. And it doesn't mean you go reach up for Josh Allen, but it means that you just have to accept that unless he falls to you and you're sitting in a situation where, okay, my choices are Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, or Mike Evans. Unless you're in
Right,
that situation, you're probably not getting Josh Allen in a best ball.
right.
So, I mean, interesting. It's just it's fascinating to me how these things are. It changes every year. Like I took Derrick Henry at like the 6th pick in one of the drafts we were in together, and Sean actively looked up at me and went, "Really, Derrick Henry?" And I'm like, "The best running back in the league the last like 4 years when he's healthy." And Sean's reaction was, "Well, when he's healthy, he missed half the season last year." And I'm like, "Yes, it's best ball. If he stays healthy and he was like, "Well, he only played like 5 games last year." Yes. And those 5 games might win me a best ball league if he does it again this year. So, not to mention, don't forget, people are always like, "Well, he came back, he rushed to get back for the playoffs." He played 1 playoff game. The Titans lost it, which was shocking which was shocking to everyone. Well, shocking to a lot of people. But not only did they lost that game, but he played fantastically and he showed no adverse effects. He came back for 1 game and then had an entire offseason. So I don't think there's going to be. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Derrick Henry. I'm really not. See if I find his. But he's down at RB5.
That's
He's
crazy.
down. What was his? Let me see if I can find his game log. Week 18. He was. Oh, where's the? They don't have the regular. They don't have the postseason because I'm on the Fantasy Pro site. But yeah, I'm sorry. He played the first 8 weeks last year. He played 8 weeks before he got hurt. So I mean, I don't know. I think people are overestimating that kind of thing, but I think he's going to be fine. Let me see if I can find it on like Pro Reference or something like that. Pro Football Reference, and we'll move on. 2021. I mean, keep in mind he only played half a season last year. He still had 937 yards.
He did.
I mean, come on. Game logs, 2021. Playoffs. He had 20 carries for 62 yards. That's an average of 3.1 yards. He had 1 touchdown. Okay. That's not tremendous. That's good for you not playing for 8 weeks, 9 weeks. I look at it. I'm just like, okay. I mean, the dude averages last year before his injury, he averaged 4.2 yards per carry. I mean,
Wow.
just give the guy his due. Give the guy his due. And he's only 28 years old. He's still in his prime. So, all right. Any more thoughts on best ball before we move on to final thoughts?
I no,
Do
I
one.
don't
That
think
would
so.
be
No,
that would be it.
know what I would also say is if you, let's say hypothetically you want to draft, I don't know, Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you draft his backup. Just
Yeah.
saying. And definitely best ball. You definitely want to pay attention to bye weeks. because you can't do anything about them after the fact.
You see, I don't even worry about the bye weeks. I really don't, unless I see like I've got everybody stacked up.
Everyone's off week 9.
Yeah, I mean, if I have 0 running backs available in week 9, I've got a problem. But I'm carrying 6 running backs. Even if I just got one that's going to go out there and get me 5 or 6 points, it's worthwhile. I don't worry so much about off weeks, but I hear your point. You don't want to miss an opportunity by having everybody on the same off week. You basically surrender an opportunity, and the next week maybe 3 guys go off, but only 2 of them make your lineup because it's best ball.
Right.
You know, it's an issue. That's an issue. All right, final thoughts, Craig. What do you got for me this week?
Final thoughts. I think since we just mentioned Best Buy, damn it,
Hashtag sponsor us.
Best Ball. This is a great time to practice. Excuse me. If you do DraftKings, it's usually $1. It goes pretty quick, so it's really good practice and to see who people are interested in. I still think people are going by the rankings more than like picking players like maybe we would do, but it's definitely a good way to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. I guess for me, my final thought is that, this week we've lost 2 members of the NFL family, gone too soon. Today we learned that we lost Tony the Goose Siragusa. Yeah, I mean that's that. And I'm drawing. Jalen Ferguson. I'm drawing a blank. Who's that guy? And Ravens Jalen Ferguson, 26 years old. The police are investigating that death. I thought the police made a terrible mistake in dealing with the media on this.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. What did they do?
Oh my God! So somebody asked them. Some press person they came out and they said we're investigating it. We don't suspect foul play, but we're investigating it as a suspicious death. And somebody asked them, "Do we think it was drugs?" And he was like, "Well, we don't determine cause of death. That's for the medical examiner. But we're keeping all our options open, so drugs haven't been eliminated." Don't say that.
You should have just left it off at the first part.
Yep. I'm not going to speculate. All I can tell you is because we don't have a cause of death, it's being fully investigated. The medical examiner will tell us exactly what the cause of death is. That is where you stop.
Right.
That is. I'm not going to speculate on this. Now, of course, that's the first thing everybody thinks is, oh God, this young man we don't know what his medical history was. We don't know what his family history was. A young man has been lost, and a young man that everyone in the organization and around football has said was really, really young and gifted and just a genuinely nice guy. This is interesting. Wait, I'm seeing an article that just came out a few minutes ago in the last 20 minutes. Oh my God, are you serious?
Uh-oh. What?
Tyreek Hill is claiming he's receiving death threats because he said that Tua was a more accurate QB than Mahomes.
With social media, I believe it.
And he's saying it's on every one of his social media accounts. Okay, so our condolences to the families of Tony Siragusa and Jalen Ferguson. I'm going to shift into a secondary final thought based off of what we just saw come across online.
Go for it.
I don't care what a guy says or does. I spent 20 minutes ranting about how Tyreek Hill basically shot himself in the foot on his way out the door of the Chiefs last week. I'm not going to recount that. Hashtag Drew Rosenhaus is the king of day traders. You're giving up long-term gains for short-term gains, and good luck with that. I also don't think that Tua is a better or more accurate. What did he say? What was the exact words? More accurate quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. I don't believe that is all. It doesn't make a difference if you believe it or not. Death threats are never acceptable in a rational society. It doesn't matter. I have spoken numerous times about my political views on here and in other formats. I have never issued a death threat to somebody who disagrees with me. I mean, come on, people. And not to mention, it's not life or death. It's freaking football. It's not like your family's welfare is at risk over what he said. You know, it blows my freaking mind when I see stuff like that. I was like, oh, he received death threats. Why? Why would you threaten bodily harm over someone's opinion about a football game?
Yep.
I don't get
You
it.
can definitely, you can get mad all you want over football because we do, but yeah, there's a line. There's a definite line.
There's a lot, and I understand people who are passionate about things like football, but at the same time, I mean, we just recently had an individual who showed up at a Supreme Court justice's house and said he felt he needed to kill him because he thought he was going to, overturn Roe versus Wade. And I understand passions run high on political issues. This is football. I can't condone I can't condone that guy who showed up at a Supreme Court justice's house. How on earth can I condone someone making a threat over something as irrelevant to the existence of life as football? I love football. I would be very sad without it. But you know what? It does not cause or prolong it does not cause the shortening or prolonging of my life by itself. I'm more interested in things that directly threaten my life and my family's well-being, and even those things are off limits for death threats. I mean, what's next? You're going to walk into a deli and you get a bad sandwich and you get threaten the guy who made the sandwich?
Probably. I've seen it happen.
I worked at the deli. I can tell you people screamed at me frequently. I don't think anyone ever threatened to kill me.
Oh, I've been threatened at work all the time.
Oof. Well, yeah, but you work in customer service.
Yeah, I know.
Like tech customer service. I don't understand this mentality. I will never understand the fanatic who feels like not only it's necessary, but that it's acceptable to issue a death threat over anything, let alone football. But you know what's a good thing to issue death threats about? The answer is nothing. I can't even make the joke I was about to make because it's simply not acceptable. I was about to say, I will threaten death to anyone who does not leave us a review, but I can't even make that joke because it's really inappropriate. But what would be really nice and really appropriate is if you left us a review on whatever podcast directory you listen to. We are on so many now, I have stopped trying to list them all.
iTunes is the main one.
Apple
Podcasts, rather.
Craig is an Apple stan. He is going to sit there. He will fight on that hill to the day he dies. So please, if you love Craig's contributions, go leave it on Apple because that'll make him smile. And even if put into the review, Craig told me to do this. That'll make him laugh. Just don't make him laugh to the point where he coughs, because nobody needs that. But also, if you want to reach out to us, we always love to hear from our fans. You can reach out to us a number of ways. We are at Fignuts DFS. On Twitter. We are the Football Fignuts Podcast on Facebook. We are also available via email at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. This is the time of year. If you guys got questions or feedback, we would love to hear it, and don't hesitate to do it. We said we were going to do a quick 30-minute episode, and we're entering minute 45. So once again, I don't know where the time goes when the two of us start talking football.
It happens.
But, if by my math, am I doing the math right? Do we have one more episode this season?
Technically, yes, I believe so. If I'm looking
and next week's an off week for us.
Yes.
'Cause I'm going to the baseball game.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And then
we're having a production meeting next Wednesday. I don't think you're attending this particular meeting, but the rest of us are having a production meeting at a baseball game.
At a baseball game with beer.
Because that's how we roll. Well, I don't even know. We're going to see the Hartford Yard Goats, and I happen to know a member of that organization, and he was like, let me know when you get there. And I'm like, oh God, I have a feeling a free upgrade is coming our way. So I kind of hope it is. I kind of hope he's like, hey man, I got an extra sweet tonight. You want it? Yeah, I'll take the extra sweet. Twist my arm. Say, come in. Can I get free food out of it too? Anyway, but we will be back probably not next week, but the week after to wrap up season 5 and get ready for season 6.
That's right.
So please stay safe out there. Please leave us a review and reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. But until you do, and until next time we speak, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Hi, Deb.